What's up, my comic comrades? Back in November, we gave you all our list of the 10 most dangerous assassins in all of comics. And in that video, we asked if you guys would want us to break it down further and do our top 10 assassins in DC and Marvel individually. Well, the answer we got back was a resounding yes, and kicking it off today is the 10 deadliest assassins in DC Comics. These are the characters you don't want coming after you. And let me tell you, DC has some of the greatest assassins in all of fiction. So let's get started with number 10. Kicking off our list is the Red Hood. Essentially, Red Hood is a Batman that kills. Even though in more recent years, specifically the Batman Urban Legends issue 6, Red Hood told Bruce he's giving up guns and probably gonna settle down on the whole killing people thing. But let's be honest, no matter how you slice it, Jason is the brutal enforcer of the Bat family. The Raphael of the Bat family, if you will. He's essentially a Batman Punisher, which is one of the many reasons us fans dig him so much. And his pure hatred for evil is what makes him such a deadly assassin, especially since he was killed by the epitome of evil, the Joker, then brought back to life with the Lazarus Pit. Once brought back to life, he became the Red Hood, a name that strikes fear into evil everywhere, because if he's coming after you, he's probably going to be the last thing you ever see, as his skills are comparable to Batman, but willing to go further than the Bat. Next up, we have Bronze Tiger, who's considered to be one of the best martial artists in all of the DC universe, as well as one of the best assassins, period. He's mastered several forms of martial arts such as Jiu-Jitsu, Karate, Kung Fu, Taekwondo, Muay Thai, Judo, and more. But on top of all that, he also has defense for every single style of martial arts. Put it this way, dude has bested Batman on more than one occasion. He is such a skilled killer and assassin, he has worked alongside the Suicide Squad and the League of Assassins. Bronze Tiger is essentially a human weapon, which is crazy when you consider the fact that he doesn't even have any superhuman powers or abilities. Besides being a master martial artist, he's able to focus his chi, which allows him to speed up his healing. On top of that, he's also an expert spy. Bronze Tiger is easily one of the most unappreciated comic characters out there. Again, the dude beat Batman on more than one occasion, most recently in Tom King's Batman run. I love me some Batman. And that being the case, I'm always on the lookout for the next best Batman story and or collectible to add to my collection. Well, today's sponsor, our friends at Bricker Builds, didn't let a brother down. They created, built, and sent over these two amazing bat weapons to add to the studio as a desk or wall display. Look at these beauties. This Batarang is inspired by Christopher Nolan's trilogy, taking after the weapon wielded by Christian Bale as the Dark Detective, while this version is inspired by the classic weapon wielded by Michael Keaton in Tim Burton's 1989 film. Whether you dig the classic or the trilogy, you can't make a wrong choice here because they're both freaking amazing. If you're not familiar with them, Bricker Builds is actually not affiliated with the LEGO Group at all, nor any of its license holders like Marvel or DC. They're an independent group of insanely talented fan designers and artists who have teamed up to inspire your next life-size brick-built creation. And their original designs are a blast to assemble using their intuitive instruction manuals. You could purchase either or both of these at brickerbuilds.com. And if you use code VARIANT, you'll get 10% off your entire order. And while you're on the site, you have to click around and check out all their incredible creations. There's something for everyone. Again, just click their link in the description and use our code to get 10% off. Next up, we have a character that you may not be familiar with, and that is Constantine Draken. He's an enemy of Green Arrow, and not just one of DC's best assassins, one of the best in all of comics. He's so skilled in martial arts, he was able to defeat Connor Hawke, one of the top martial artists in the DC universe. What makes Draken such a dangerous assassin is his metahuman super speed. The guy can catch several arrows and other projectiles out of the air simultaneously. The crazy thing about Draken is that being one of the world's best martial artists, he decided to become an assassin for no real reason besides the fact that he wanted to see what it was like to kill people, and wanted to see how good he would be at it. Turns out, he's really good at it. But I will say the fact that he didn't have any specific childhood trauma or something of the sort makes it a lot more scary that he just wants to kill people because of the thrill. At lucky number 7, we have Bane. Bane is one of the most scary villains in comics because he has both brains and bronze, which is a deadly combination. Bane was forged into a human weapon from childhood. He even took his first life before reaching the age of 10. Bane all by himself was an extremely deadly person and assassin, but once he was injected with a serum known as Venom, it took him to all new heights of dangerous. His strength is dependent on the amount of venom he injects into himself, but besides the venom just giving him strength, it also gives him incredible stamina, speed, and accelerated healing. Bane is one of Batman's most dangerous enemies, top 5 I would say. He's beaten Batman to near death on more than one occasion. Hell, he's known as the one who broke the Bat, breaking Batman's back and putting him out of commission for some time. Bane is such a deadly assassin and mercenary, he has joined and worked with both the League of Assassins and the Secret Six. In a nutshell, there are very few who could rival Bane in the world of mercenaries and assassins. Next up, we have David Cain, the father of Cassandra Cain. Plain and simple, David Cain is known as one of the world's most lethal assassins, being one of the most feared that the League of Assassins has to offer. He is literally famous for taking some of the most lives in all of DC. With that said, he is such a skilled combatant, he's one of the few who's trained Bruce, teaching him many of his skills that he would use as the Dark Knight. You know you're a badass when you could say you trained the Caped Crusader. Another major claim to fame Cain has is his daughter Cassandra Cain, who would later work alongside Batman under the aliases of Batgirl and Orphan. Cain trained his daughter from early on to be a cold-killing machine, not teaching her to read or even speak in his presence, so that all she would know is fighting and killing. This cold, abusive tactic, however, did result in one of the best members of the Bat family. When you're talking about assassins in the DC universe, you have to mention David Cain. Making it into our top 5 is one of the most infamous decorated assassins in the DC universe, and that, of course, is Lady Shiva. Lady Shiva is such a skilled martial artist and assassin, it is considered an honor to train under her. She is also one of the few who has trained Batman, but also Tim Drake Robin. Lady Shiva has no superpowers, but even without being a metahuman, she is regarded as one of the best martial artists and assassins on the planet. She knows forms of martial arts that have long been forgotten, meaning if you want to learn them, she has to teach them to you. Shiva has the ability to read people's body language, which enables her to predict their movements before they move. Batman, the dude who's widely considered to be one of the greatest martial artists in DC, has been quoted saying that Shiva may be the best fighter alive. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Lady Shiva's daughter is Cassandra Cain? That's right, David Cain, Lady Shiva, and Cassandra are one family unit you wouldn't want to piss off at dinner. Coming in at number 4 is Ra's al Ghul. Let's make this simple. Ra's al Ghul is the head, the demon's head of the League of Assassins. That's right, Ra's al Ghul is the leader of the greatest organization of assassins in all of DC. Put it this way, almost everyone on this list has been part or worked with the League of Assassins at one point or another. Ra's, of course, is an expert assassin and martial artist himself. And as head of the League of Assassins, he puts into motion some of the most infamous terrorist attacks the DC universe has ever seen. He does this, of course, to reach his ultimate goal of eradicating most of humankind in an effort to eradicate evil and achieve global balance. He's basically the definition of I'm going to kill for the greater good. Simply put, once again, he's the leader of the League of Assassins, an organization of assassins that consists of the deadliest killers in all of DC. Like I said, almost every assassin has been part of them at one point or another. It's pretty crazy. Making it into the top 3, we got Deadshot. This dude is almost the gold standard when you think of assassins in the DC universe. He's mostly known for his expert marksmanship, hence the alias Deadshot. What's interesting about Deadshot is that he's been all over the radar as far as being a villain and anti-hero, but most notably, he's a core member and leader of the Suicide Squad. He's an expert combatant, and if you put a firearm in this guy's hand, there's only a couple of characters that can rival his deadly accuracy. He's a stereotypical assassin, meaning as long as you're giving him money, he will kill whoever you want. The thing that's interesting about Deadshot, though, is that he's often reckless because he has a death wish. Even though this can present him with some close calls, it makes him extremely unpredictable to his opponents, giving him an even greater edge. What it really comes down to is you do not want to be on the other side of his crosshair. Just missing the top spot is the main man, Lobo. Lobo isn't just one of the best assassins in DC, he's one of the best assassins in all of comics, period. If you have the money, Lobo will kill anyone you want. The main man will commit complete genocide if you got the coin. With that said, he does have a pretty strict code of ethics when it comes to following his contract. Like, he follows the contract he makes with you word for word. As he says in the comics, the main man's word is his bond. So for better or worse, if it's in the contract, it's getting done. Lobo was once even hired by a drunk Easter bunny to kill Santa Claus, which he did by chopping off his head. Dude killed Saint Nick because the Easter Bunny gave him some coin to do so. Besides just fulfilling his contract, there's no stopping Lobo. He's one of the most formidable characters in all of comics. Lobo is functionally immortal. You can't hurt the guy. He could wipe the floor with most characters in comic books if he really wanted. When it comes to assassin contracts being fulfilled in DC, the main man's your guy. And of course, making the number 1 spot is none other than Deathstroke the Terminator. I mean, with a name like that, come on now. In all seriousness, Deathstroke is the gold standard when it comes to assassins in the DC universe. This dude has defeated Batman, Green Arrow, the Teen Titans, the Justice League, and even mother freaking gods. Deathstroke has super strength, endurance, speed, and intellect. It is even stated in Identity Crisis that Deathstroke uses more of his brain than a normal human. Because of this, he was momentarily able to solo the Justice League. As I always say, a combination of brains and brawn makes you beyond deadly. What it all comes down to is Deathstroke is probably the most well-rounded assassin that comics has to offer. Certainly top 3. Then in more recent years, when he was given the Godkiller sword, a weapon that allowed him to kill both gods and titans, dude was unstoppable. He was even able to go toe-to-toe with Superman at that point. In our opinion, when you're talking about the best assassin in the DC universe, Deathstroke is a clear number 1. But some of you will undoubtedly disagree with some or all of our list. So let us know what yours would be down in the comments. First up for the week of February 1st, we have Flash Issue 1 1 Minute War Special. A lot can happen in 60 seconds. As the Flash event 1 Minute War rages on, writer Jeremy Adams gives you further insight into the alien speedster race that has invaded Central City, and how the Flash family fights back. Next, we have Dark Web Finale Issue 1. The dawn rises after the demonic invasion of New York City, but the light will reveal Chasm's final gambit and the new denizens of hell he helped create and unleash on Spider-Man and the X-Men. See how Dark Web changed the city's landscape forever. Third on our list, we have Lazarus Planet Legends Reborn Issue 1. Ancient and dangerous power has been awakened following the eruption of the Lazarus volcano, and in Lazarus Planet Legends Reborn, we'll explore corners of the planet newly awakened and primed to restore some heroes and villains long forgotten. Next in line, we have Silver Surfer Ghostlight Issue 1. Exactly who or what is Ghostlight? In this 5-issue miniseries, writer John Jennings will introduce a new Marvel superhero over 50 years in the making. And finally, we have Moon Knight Issue 20. There's blood on the streets as assassins work their way through a list of names containing those who once formed Moon Knight's Shadow Cabinet. But with a number of potential targets and no idea who's next, how can Moon Knight save his former associates? And that's going to bring today's episode to a close, but if you enjoyed it, click that video right here, and if you like our channel, like, subscribe, and comment. It helps the channel grow. But other than that, I'll see you next time when I talk about all things comics.